Welcome to something we haven't done in a while, an Ask Me Anything session. My name is Antoni. I am one of the four co-founders of Nexo, a managing partner who does a variety of things, predominantly appears in the media on part of the Nexo team. We oversee legal and compliance, some aspects of business development, and I am one of the person who tries to be a problem solver for Nexo and for you guys. Now this AMA session comes at an extremely packed week, both emotionally, market-wise, product-wise, in just about any possible aspect. I have some great personal news to share with you. My firstborn child came into this world on Sunday, my little daughter, Nicole. We are super happy, super excited to have welcomed her home yesterday. 5 days of waiting, which took a toll on me, so I have been keeping myself busy with next stuff in the meantime. But yeah, just wanted to share that news with you guys, and with that I suggest we kick it off. Now we had a poll where you could vote on the questions with regards to their relevance and importance to you guys. And first on the list, surprise, surprise, it's the Nexo credit card. Let me get one thing out of the way. There's no person in this world who wants the Nexo card to be available anywhere in the world more than I do. Perhaps maybe the team who is working on the Nexo card themselves, because they keep on getting the question, when is the card going to be available for everyone? But we are on the same page here. Like, no one is intentionally delaying the card or not letting you guys enjoy it. It is a difficult product. It was the world's first for the card issuers themselves. We rolled out the initial phase, a few thousand cards, which went out for you guys to test, to enjoy, to use, to utilize Nexo's instant credit lines. And we are now on the verge of a massive, large-scale rollout for the European economic area. I do believe in the next 3 months we're going to have some incredible news here. The team that is working on the card is really dedicated to the process of, ironing out some of the problematic waves that we encountered with the issuers, with the issuing parties. None of it has really been an issue on Nexo's side. But when you work with other people and you depend on them, sometimes you can be misled with regards to particular deadlines, and that makes it very, very complicated for us sometimes, because the crypto community, once you say something, it's set in stone forever. It doesn't matter what's happening. It doesn't matter that 5 products came out, that an Nexo token has, 20x'd in the meantime. People want everything all at once, or at least the most vocal ones. We are working on it. I do believe for Europe, within the next 3 months, you'll be satisfied with the progress we have made. In the US, as I said, the team is working with counterparties, third-party providers, issuers over there to make sure that the same happens in the States. And we are, well, I can tell you, we have historically been working with MasterCard. We are diversifying our approach here so that we are not reliant on just one provider who can change their view on certain aspects, I would say almost overnight. This sometimes places us facing different and difficult predicaments. But be that as it may, good news within 2021, I believe. And with that, I think the Nexo credit card is covered. So we're moving on to the next question. that came in second. It is with regards to the Bitcoin withdrawals, and I understand from what you guys have been telling us and what the support team has been telling us that some transactions have not been broadcasted to the Bitcoin network. There have been cases where the system already deducted the balances, but they were never sent out. And apparently that has been going on for a few days. This is Rico asking us. Now, first of all, your crypto is your crypto and is going to be your crypto until you decide to part with it voluntarily. So no worries on that front. All your funds, regardless of whether it's Rico or anyone else, they are safe. No doubt about that. With regards to the Bitcoin network, we unfortunately do not have control over what the miners are doing and how the network is handling withdrawals, how it's being broadcast and how long that takes. All I can do right now is give you the comfort that your funds are safe. They're going to be processed at some point at the very near future, depending on network congestions. You know what a week it was with the violent rise and then the sharp correction that we saw and then a rise again. You saw a huge number of new people coming into the space. We saw major exchanges such as Coinbase experience some troubles, Kraken, Binance, I think at one point. So it is, we are all in the same boat, but regardless, the funds are safe. They're going to get the processed. If, that doesn't happen within the next few days, please reach out to the customer support team. If the problem persists, find me on Twitter and send me out a tweet or a personal message, and I will, strive to be as helpful as I can. Personally, I'm awake at night with a small child at home, so I'm available around the clock, so I'll do some extra time to make sure that everyone's assets get to the address that they need to get over to. The third question is with regards to Nexo transparency issues. Okay. As a company which strives to be a leader in the leveraged financial service space, I would leave leveraged out of this classification, but CH, whoever you are, that's the way you chose to phrase it, you think we clearly need to address these issues, and you're asking about what are the steps to alleviate user concerns. I would like to think that this first of a monthly recurring Ask Me Anything sessions goes in the right direction, and it goes into direction of precisely addressing some of the transparency issues which some of the community members have identified as areas where we need to improve upon. The thing with full transparency is like with full perfection, it is unattainable, right? It's regardless of what you're doing, you see it at public companies, you see that being said about Tesla, not that I'm directly comparing Nexo to Tesla, not yet at least, although we do share some preferences, since their newfound love for crypto, and we have been very big fans of everything that Elon Musk has been doing. But my point was that you can be a public company, you can have all the financial disclosures, and people will always want more information. Now, duly noted what you guys have been saying about transparency. As I said, we're doing this first AMA session. We are, as you know, in the process of auditing Nexo financials. I'm sure this question is bound to appear somewhere in the top 10 or 20, definitely. The long-term plan that we, the management and the team at Nexo, have for our company, and it it's not just our company, it's our company, like including you guys who are watching this, our supporters, our investors, our clients. Our joint company, the vision that we have for it goes hand in hand with more transparency on the on the financial side of things, on the communication side of things, on how we structure the product, on how we listen to you, what features you want to see implemented next. So we are very conscious of that, and I think we are steadily pacing in the right direction. I'm here to attest to that. Yeah, I think that covers pretty much anything I had to say on that topic. Now, we had here the top 10 questions, I think. We're about number 4. I just wanted to say that, if you have any follow-up, there will be a live session where you can ask directly. So if you did not find any of the answers to your satisfaction, you can, comment on that, and I could perhaps elaborate on certain aspects that I perhaps not immediately thought of. Now, Alex is asking us what causes the withdrawals delay affected some customers in the last days. Is the issue now fully solved? I do believe that it's fully solved. Again, I was actually very closely related to the second question, but in the spirit of transparency, going down the question list as you have voted it. I do believe the issue has been alleviated, to use this very nice word that somebody brought up in the previous question. And if there are any withdrawals that are stuck, they are being processed. And if the problem persists, do drop a note to customer service, and we will try our very best, if it's on our end, to solve it. If it's on the blockchain network, we all just have to be patient. I'm gonna take a quick sip now from this beautiful Nexo bottle that the team has prepared here. Did Nexo made any losses due to the refunding users affected by the Kraken flash cash, probably crash, or did it not actually result in real sales of collateral? And that is an anonymous question. Now, again, in the spirit of transparency, we are answering even anonymous questions. But kidding aside, we have not lost any money refunding, clients due to the flash crash that one of our partners experienced. And the reason for it is that they have done the right thing here. They have acknowledged that it was a mistake and oversight on their end. I think there's some malfunctioning on the API where the orders, you didn't get the correct status, whether the order has been filled or killed and canceled, which created some confusion for our proprietary system through no fault of its own. But if the third party gives you the wrong signal, it adjusts incorrectly. So they have stepped in, done the right thing, and they will recoup our cost for making our customers whole. This type of things happen occasionally. It is software after all, and anyone who knows 2 things about software, and I'm one of those people who know just about 2 things about software. My strengths are, I like to think elsewhere, but what I do know is the longer the code and the more systems are linked together, intertwined, interconnected, the more prone are they to occasionally yield errors. And I would like to tell you it's never going to happen again, but it's probably at some point somewhere down this plethora of services that we, as any other company, offers, we are bound to see such things happen. These are natural. We saw even a robust multi-trillion-dollar platform I'm talking about the ACH system over in the US, which is under direct supervision of the Federal Reserve. You know, even they experience occasional outages and their system not being able to process payments for hours and hours to come. Shout out to JPOW. We are all in the same boat, my dear friend. Did that cover the question? I believe so. Moving on to the next one. And again, an anonymous question. Not an anonymous question, but a question by an anonymous user. That's perfectly fine. What's the current status of acquiring bank licenses in the European Union, the US? Do you expect this to happen in 2021, or is it more likely in years to come? I do expect it to happen in 2021. The short, direct answer to the second part of the question, we have made incredible progress in the bank in Europe. I'd love to tell you more, but unfortunately I am bound by non-disclosure agreements, and since we are down to talking to the regulators, I really cannot reveal anything more. In the US, same thing, we are in advanced talks. You can see, you know, some of the crypto companies acquiring commercial banking capabilities, being authorized by the Office of the Controller of the Currency. A few news that a few announcements in the news. So definitely the landscape is changing towards more crypto-friendly regulators in the US, and I do think that the change of the administration, now with Biden in place, with a few people taking key positions who have at the very least been sympathetic to crypto, we will have a cause for celebration within 2021 in the US as well. With that, we're moving on to the next question by Talion. I hope I got your name right. If not, tweet out to me and I'll make sure to be standing corrected. Are there any changes planned to dividend distribution in terms of timing, frequency, payout of crypto? Well, presumably the payout currency, etc. Great question. Now, first of all, you know, I half jokingly would like to say with the way that the token has been performing this past few months, you know, the dividend distribution question has not been brought up that often or as often as it used to be in the past. We made a commitment that the dividend is not going to be paid out any less frequent than what you have seen thus far. I'm not in a position to tell you that we're changing the frequency, i.e. we are not looking to pay out any on shorter time horizons at this current stage. So that is why part of the reason why we have been hard at work with the Nexonomics to create this whole suite of different attributes, characteristics, benefits, utilities of the Nexo token, so that you know, it is not always when dividend and why am I holding it if I'm not receiving my dividends monthly. We believe that we have done a finer job of giving you a great number of reasons to be holding the Nexo token and expanded its utility, its usage much further than, you know, just the dividend. I think the market has appreciated that. I am a believer in the efficient market theory, so viewing the performance of the Nexo token, which went from, you know, 10 to 12 cents 2 or 3 months ago to $2.40 last week before the, you know, the crypto-wide correction that we saw. I think that attests to some degree of success that we've had with redesigning the Nexo token. And I do believe that all of us should take a moment to appreciate that, to be grateful to the Nexo team, as I am, because they have put in an incredible amount of work to make this happen. You know, the product guys, the marketing guys, the PR people who have been doing overtime to communicate that on a large, on a large enough scale, worthy of the development itself. You know, the trading team who has been engaged in the buyback program. As you know, we launched the buyback program, which has yielded some success as well. And they have, you know, it truly is an art, and shout out to the trading team to know where exactly and how exactly to place the orders so as to have, you know, maximum effect on the price in a positive direction. Last but not least, with you know, with the least resistance by selling pressures and, you know, people positioning themselves around those events. So I do believe that the token has done incredibly well, and, you know, the team on one side, and then you, the crypto enthusiasts who have decided to invest in Nexo, grateful to you as well. If the dividend is the only reason you continue to hold on to your Nexo tokens, wait for the next all-time high. It's around the corner, and you can, you know, exit most graciously and profitably from the Nexo token if you are in no position to see the bigger picture and you know, the incredible work and results that have you know, come out from our joint efforts to make the Nexo tokens something as desired as it is today. Moving on to the next question. Could you provide quarterly results of the company like all listed companies do? I have a ready answer. It's not that I'm taking a sip to think about it. That's Arno asking. We are not a listed company in the traditional sense of the word. And at least the way I understand your comparison to a listed company on a publicly traded exchange, something like the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. Even though, as you know, we have announced this and discussed this before, that's where we had it. That's why we need all the transparency that we are working on. That's why we need the financial disclosures. That's what we are working on. But it's a complicated matter, as we have again discussed, because the reputable auditing firms, definitely the ones that you would like to see our financial results audited by, are only now dipping their toes into crypto. That is why we haven't gotten yet around to the point of having those audited financials. I truly believe that quarterly results, you know, the preparation that they require is actually counterproductive for the team. It is much better that they focus on building the best possible company that we can, on getting the older financials from the previous periods audited so that we can make the next step of becoming a publicly traded company, because we're not right now. Right now we are a privately held company. This means that we are not even obliged to have disclosures with regards to our financial statements. We are doing this as a gesture of being more transparent, as we discussed, and with the ultimate goal in mind of being a publicly traded company. So we're getting there. I will have to ask you for a little more patience, and, you know, as the saying goes, good things come to those who wait. Right, moving on to the next question. Are you planning on implementing the ability to transfer tokens via chains other than Ethereum, such as Tron, I believe, TRC20, that's Tron, and BCH and others, to BSC, my God, and others, in order to save gas costs for both parties? Yes, we are. The dev team is examining the different opportunities that are available. There are some technicalities that need to be worked out, and also more fundamentally, we have to properly assess what makes the most sense in terms of sustainability. We don't want to transition to one chain and then it turns out that everyone is headed that way and they don't have the bandwidth to handle the amount of transactions, and we're back to square one. So do bear with us. You can understand, I mean, up to now we were covering all the costs, which is not great for us as a business, for our investors, Nexo token holders, Nexo token holders, etc. It's not good for anyone. Now, passing on the cost to the end user is not great either, because that's considerable cost. And obviously, when we pass on the cost to you guys, this will have the ultimate effect of reduction of the transactions, which is not something we are super excited about. We want you to be transacting as much as you possibly can at as low fees as they're possibly available. So what we're seeing right now is an interim solution that we have in place until we figure out how do we make it sustainable, how do we make it faster, how do we make it cheaper. But this is a problem and conundrum that any crypto company is facing right now, and we are watching each other, what is everyone doing, who has figured out the best way, and we will be very quick to adapt here so that we can continue to provide you with the best possible experience, just like you are accustomed to with Nexo. Next question, how are we doing time-wise? All right, about 30 minutes in now. So we do have a lot of time to cover all of your questions, I believe. In which ways is Nexo ahead or behind its competition? Celsius, BlockFi, Voyager. Celsius. I have no idea who are those guys. What are they doing? BlockFi. I personally know the BlockFi team. Some of the guys, I do have respect for them. And I think that the blockchain space as such will profit from more mutual respect between competing companies, between competing communities, between competing protocols, between competing everywhere. We are ultimately all in this together, and we are all the good guys. The bad guys are elsewhere, and we need to stand united because they are, the incumbent bad guys are not gonna drop that easy, or okay, we might not want them all dead, but you know what I mean. So with regards particularly to BlockFi, I think they have pivoted into another direction and do something slightly different, so I don't even view them as competitors. We have been very focused on initially the retail, on you guys, the little guy, as they said, but that shouldn't have any negative connotations whatsoever. Like, I came into crypto as a little guy, and we are all about catering the needs of the individual, whatever they might be, and about inclusion. That's why in our model, we don't care too much about exactly who you are, unless you're one of the bad guys from sanctioned countries, blacklisted, a child molester, or somebody engaged in illicit activities. As soon as we know you're not that, we do not care about your background, about your credit worthiness, you can come on our platform and deal on your own terms. That's what Nexo has been all about. Once we did a finer job of in building a infrastructure to help the retail, we have focused on institutions, on our interacting with the larger actors who will take crypto on its own to the next level. And I think that's what we see ever since the summer of 2020. This acceleration of the bull run across crypto has been accomplished by, I have repeated that until I got hoarse on Bloomberg and other outlets. It was the Paul Tudor Jones, the Stanley Druckenmillers, the Elon Musks, the MicroStrategy guys, the Googleheims, who are going to boost us into the stratosphere. So we have been building with that in mind, and for those guys as well, for instance, the crypto exchange works obviously for the retail, great, but it was very important for some of our institutional clients, the miners, options, custom-made options for them to handle their finances more efficiently, etc. Why am I giving this overview of something all of you, or the vast majority of people who are watching know this by heart, is to highlight that we have different approaches to the space. With someone like BlockFi, they initially very directly engage with the institutional side of things. Obviously, if you're 100% focused on one part, you tend to do a good job, I guess. With regards to that, it is different stadiums that we're working on, but we believe that we have a lot of to offer to the institutional landscape, and we are going to roll out some incredible products for it that will most definitely reshape what you are seeing today in a fundamental way. So do stay tuned. I'm not going to give too much of a heads up to the other guys who are running in those stadiums. So, you just have to wait and see. This has always been Nexo's approach. My personal attitude, the way I was brought up is, lead by example. Actions speak louder than words. This has been sort of the credo of the Nexo team, definitely of the management. I was reminded by a long-term fan of ours who sent me a Medium post, which I and predominantly Costa was helping me out, wrote about 2 years ago about delivering versus just talking. That was one of the bullet points within the Medium article, and it's definitely our credo. We like our actions, our results, our products, your feedback to do the talking for us, and that's why you rarely will see me engage in talking about competitors, other actors. We just like to have everything in place for you guys to come to test it out on your own terms, see what you like, see what you don't like, and then let your testimonies be the words that get spread around about Nexo. Will you implement withdrawal address whitelisting? Oh yes, please. I'm waiting for that myself. And IP change confirmation. As is standard at other platforms and exchanges, and better security against hacking, compromise, clipboard, malware, etc. That's a question we have received from John Warner. It is a great set of questions. Of course, we are going to have all of those in place. In terms of security, I do think we have the necessary requisite of tools even today to make sure that no one departs unwillingly with their crypto assets. I don't think we even had a case like this. So again, this is testimony to what I'm saying, that I believe we've done a finer job here. Whitelisting, I am nudging the guys. I need that as well. I am a Nexo wallet user myself. IP change confirmation, all of those things will be implemented. I cannot give you an exact ETA right now, and I am sure that you would want the guys to be working on alternative chains to bring down gas cost and transfer cost, and this is more of a necessity and has a greater sense of urgency than the withdrawal whitelisting of addresses, which I cannot wait to be in place. But you know, everything in life is ultimately about priorities, and bear with us that we do have your best interest in mind and that we are worthy of assessing properly what needs to be rolled out quicker than other things. Moving on. What are you personally excited about the most when it comes to changes and developments that are on the horizon for Nexo? I'm the type of person who gets excited about all sorts of stuff. So I talked about prioritizing things, and now I can get my priorities straight. No, but kidding aside, I am super excited about the bank acquisition because, as you know, I am the one who oversees the legal and compliance effort, and this is just going to be incredible from that perspective. I mean, we got to do a separate AMA, or else I will, you know, use up all the time that we have remaining today to address that issue. All the incredible things that will come out of this in terms of service and products that are already in place, and how they're going to be even smoother, more refined, more enjoyable for you guys, but more importantly, to the types of products that we will be able to offer to you having the bank license in place. So this gets me terribly excited. The prospect of Nexo being a publicly traded company gets me incredibly excited. Good thing I need to be awake at night in the coming weeks and months, so that I can, you know, while caring for the baby, think about all this exciting stuff. What else? The prime brokerage, which, oops, I was perhaps not supposed to tell you this at this point, but yeah, the prime brokerage has got me very excited because of what I'm seeing behind the scenes, of the way institutions are positioning themselves and their needs, and the huge amounts of business which this will generate, and what it will do for the overall space in terms of allowing even more institutions to come in. You know, the corporate API which is being rolled out, that's got me pretty excited as well. The growth of the teams got me really excited. We are around 160 people right now. We are growing something to the tune of 15 people a month. So lots of stuff to be excited about. I just randomly, a press conference of Donald Trump just came to mind, where they asked him, what is your priority? And he said, everything's my priority. So my answer sounded a little bit like that, but you know, yeah, lots to be excited about. And this is only the stuff, well, apart from the prime brokerage, that I can talk about. So rest assured there's much more in the pipeline, which is early days, and I don't want to give you all the good news all at once, so we will roll it out in even portions in the coming months, and why not even years. What is your priced up? Let me start over. What is your target price for Nexo by 2030? Oh, Mario, you've asked a great question here. I really don't know what to tell you, but double digits, definitely double digits. And it's a good thing that we're still not a publicly traded company, because I can tell you this. Otherwise, the SEC would be on us, and we would be engaging in Musk-style talks with the SEC, and pending lawsuits and settlements and a whole bunch of nasty stuff. So I'm not going to be super specific, but I see absolutely no reason why we shouldn't be in the mid double-digit range. It's definitely possible. I am reminded behind the camera some very nice people from the Nexo team, and I remember in particular one person when she was starting her work for Nexo, and I think the token was around, I don't know, low teens of dollar cents, and I was telling her it's going to go to $1, and she looked at me, she wanted to believe me, didn't really believe me, and then it crossed $1, and then I think 12 days later we were at $2. So truly, guys, sky is the limit. Now, don't put your kids' funds in Nexo, because in Nexo Tokens you can put them in the interest earning account, and that will be the safest place they could possibly be, and it will be a very smart decision. But with regards to investments in the Nexo token, you gotta have some, even at these price levels. But as with Bitcoin or any crypto for that matter, it is highly volatile, and it will remain so, because it is not only what we are doing and our efforts and the love and the care and the dedication that we put in, it's the overall market. And the overall market is bigger than any one entity, company, individual, their will to succeed, their desire, etc. So you have to be careful and make sure that with crypto you do not put in more into crypto than you can afford to, worst comes to worst, lose. But to end this question on a more elevated tone, I do believe that we are headed much higher. That is a very great question. I read it in my mind. I'm going to read it out loud to you. When will I be able to send my salary straight to my Nexo account and leave behind my dinosaur banking system? Great question, Marinos. Very soon. I know you love this answer, but that is the truth. Very soon. There is one license that we are about to secure, which will allow us to do exactly that. You have third-party payments, which means you can pay for your Tesla. Well, with Tesla you can you'll soon be able to pay with Bitcoin. So not a great example, but you can be buying a laptop, and if the transfer of the money can be a bank transfer, you will be able to transfer it directly from your bank account versus what it is right now, where you have to withdraw it to your own bank account and then transfer it to those guys. This is called third-party payments, and we will be in a position to offer this to our clients very, very soon. And also the other side of the coin will be possible as well, where third-party providers, counterparties, they will be able to send anything, such as your salary, as in the question here, directly to your Nexo account. They will start earning interest on the very first day that it hits your account, and it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful thing. And then you can obviously leave the dinosaur banking system and bank with a partner who is up to the challenges of the 21st century. What is Nexo's strategy for the corporate market? We touched upon that a little bit. Will Nexo have special products to attract new business other than traditional retail? Luis Simoes, I guess is how the surname is pronounced. Luis is asking us this. I think I already answered it. Yes, we are. We have been shifting our focus on the institutional offering very, very heavily this past few quarters. We have separate dedicated teams working precisely on that, and it's going to be a whole suite of different products specially designed for corporations, for institutions of all walks of life, and this definitely will attract new business. And as you perhaps recall, or if you're joining us later, this is one of the things that has me terribly excited. As a USA Nexonian, we are missing out on higher earn rates via the Nexo token. Yeah, I know, sorry about that, guys. Could Nexo offer higher earn interest rates globally via a new loyalty tiers system above the current platinum level? Okay, a few things to unpack in this question. Yes, there are some restrictions with regards to the Nexo token in the US, but that's for a good reason. It is because we are a business that strives to comply, and I would argue succeeds to a very high degree with all applicable laws and regulations, and that keeps us on the safe side of things and ultimately ensures that we are here to stay, that we have a business model that is sustainable and can be continuously enjoyed by you. The worst thing is to get accustomed to something great and have this great thing taken away from you. So we're not going to allow that, and that's why we have to have some restrictions in place. Now, with regards to the higher earn rates, there is something that is changing, and it's coming. I know you're gonna love this very, very soon, and it is in conjunction with term rate of oh my God, I lost my thought here for a second. It is the higher rates are connected with a fixed term for your pledging of assets on the Nexo platform. So this will give you the ability to earn higher rates, and those will be available globally. So you will have a mechanism on which to enjoy the highest rates. Now, with regards, are there going to be new loyalty tiers? Not right now. I mean, we have fairly, well, I would argue these are new loyalty rates. They're only a few months old. So these are the ones we have in the foreseeable future, but the term with fixed terms for the pledging of assets. Parts of the world where they haven't been able to reach the highest rates will now be attainable. And we'll make a separate announcement to that, and it will be explained in greater detail and definitely more fluently than I just did, because this is what happens when you are lacking a few hours of sleep. You sometimes lose your thought. Moving on to the next question. When are you planning to add the new coins we are voting for? And it's a question that Emma has asked us. As soon as we possibly can. It is, again, a question of prioritizing, and anything that generates new business is good for all of us. It's good for Nexo. So anything that's good for Nexo is with very high desirability. It's just a matter of prioritizing what features we get over to you guys sooner and what can wait a little longer, because obviously we have to fix the hottest issue first. And you know, there are some challenges always with new coins, especially when they're not, based on a blockchain technology that we have current capabilities with. So, you know, if it's an ERC20 token, it's fairly easy. We just got to make sure there's sufficient liquidity, that there is sufficient exchanges on which it can be traded, the APIs, how they are connected, to make sure that when inevitably some liquidations have to take place, our system can keep the Nexo clients on the safe side of things and perform its duties as it has been designed by the team, and to function in the way which has been stress tested, you know, on numerous occasions. And nobody has been stress tested like the Nexo platform. You know, in 2018 when we launched, we had this great bear market where Bitcoin alone lost 86%, and you know, the platform survived, but not only survived, it actually thrived and, you know, passed all the challenges with flying colors. Then, you know, last year's crash around mid-March, where we had Bitcoin intraday losing close to 50%, and we as a platform performed extremely well. You know, this will happen from time to time. It's not pleasant for anyone, least of all for us as a company, as a business. We want happy clients with prospering accounts, steadily growing. Perhaps steadily is a key word here, because too rapidly growing also means that corrections are going to be more severe. But to circle back to the question, because I got off track a little bit more philosophical, we are adding new coins as soon as we can and as soon as we deem them, I don't want to say worthy, but sufficiently widely adopted and liquid to be safe for you. That's how I am going to phrase it, safe for you. This is utmost priority for us, the safety of you, the clients. Moving on. How did I get into crypto? What's your story? By an anonymous. Okay, I guess the harder questions are behind us if we are asking about personal stories. And then I think we can do a little bit of overtime to see also, guys, how the live questions are going, and make sure that we haven't left any stones unturned. We want a happy community with the Emma sessions, so that they, you know, spread the word around that this is going to be a monthly thing, and that we have many more users joining us next time around. So how did I get into crypto? Have I told this story? I'm not sure whether, perhaps I told it to Charlie Shrem. The very, very first time I heard about Bitcoin, it was around 2011, I think. We can double check. I remember the price of Bitcoin was 6 cents. And I heard it from a guy called Bob Prechter. We are not old enough to remember his glory days, but he's the guy who discovered Elliott waves. It's about patterns in the stock markets. It's a 5-wave cycle, and you have the first wave, which most people miss out on. Then you have the correction, where everybody is saying, this particular asset is dead. Then you have the very rapid third wave, etc. There's a whole set of psychology behind his, well, it's not his, it's Elliott's, hence Elliott waves, but he rediscovered it, I think, in a library somewhere while he was working for Merrill Lynch in the 80s. And based on that methodology, he gained fame by predicting the 1987 crash, which I still believe is the biggest crash since the 1920. Well, it's either the larger or the second. Well, it's a very large crash on the stock market. Computerized trading played a role, and he was one of the mentors of Paul Tudor Jones, who, as you know, is now a Bitcoin fan. So this bears some relevance. Anyway, I was a subscriber to his newsletter, and the first time I heard about Bitcoin was around 2011 from him. Bitcoin was at 6 cents. Didn't make a whole lot of sense because there was just Satoshi's white paper and there was nothing on it. A few threads in Bitcoin talk. I didn't quite understand it. The next time I heard it was from a guy who had bought wheat on the dark web with Bitcoin. Obviously, it was Silk Road days. And he was like, oh, I'm on this golf course and I'm playing golf and I order my weed and they send it via regular mail and it came at the golf course. So this was the second time. And then I started reading up more about crypto, and I was hooked. I made some early investments, like early on. It was low teens, 20, maybe $50 tops, and I remember it doubled in like a week, and I was thinking, okay, I am surely the next Warren Buffett. There is no question about it, and he's gonna look like a child investor in comparison to what I'm going to do. Needless to say, poor decision to have sold it. But I've been then I got elected into Parliament, and I had a relatively okay salary, let's say, for national terms. So I was allocating 10% of my salary to Bitcoin each month. By the way, Bulgaria is like a very early adopter. We had a Bitcoin ATM in 2013, 2014. So I was buying it from this ATM, and it was incredible because there's like 10 or 15 or maybe 20% premium, and by the time I got home it had already rallied and made up this premium. So it was funny. And then in Parliament we had a proposition for e-voting, which is a bill I myself sponsored, and part of the technology was based on blockchain. And sure, somebody can find vintage footage and video of me, explaining this on television. It's fun. Maybe we can, for one of the anniversaries of Nexo, find those TV shows and do the subtitles in English so that people can have a laugh at my expense. But that's how I got engaged. And once it rallied through 1,000 during the first Cyprus crisis, I remember getting even more interested. Then was a bit of a winter, I was accumulating a little bit of Bitcoin, sold it obviously earlier than I should, and And then we got around 2017 to talk about Nexo, and I think from there on it's a story that I've told quite a few times. So let's move on to the next question. What will we be voting on once available? I am not sure I understand this question. Is this with regard to the governance token? If so, stay tuned, guys. We're going to do a separate announcement on that. Perhaps a few live questions if we got something interesting from the audience. Any plans to lower minimal fiat deposits? And how about choosing interest payout currency per coin rather than globally Nexo or in kind? The minimum fiat deposits are as low as our banking partners would allow them. This is not something we have randomly come up with. It is something that's imposed on by our fiat providers and partners. You know, it stands at 500 right now, and you know, we are always looking to lower it, but it is, you know, something that ultimately depends on someone else. And as soon as we have the banking capabilities I've been telling you about, we will be in a position to make our own decisions. And then it comes the easier game where, you know, we can decide and then implement it in terms of technology. And that's when we would have even lower amounts. With regards to the in-kind or in Nexo, I have to double check with the team, but I think the vast majority of the people is loving this as it currently stands. So, you know, we have to prioritize and get the new things that are wanted the most. We talked about this, so unless I am mistaken, and this is very high on the wish list, it is going to be further into the future. Yeah. Moving on to the next question. What is going on to the Nexo tokens in case Nexo does an IPO? Or the company is sold? Are there any protections against removal or reduction of the minimum 30% profit being distributed as dividends? This is the third question we are having today from Talion, for which we are grateful, and I shall do my very best to explain it. Now, first of all, on IPO, the mechanisms of becoming public, there are different routes to going public, and IPO is the least suitable for Nexo. There are other ways which are offer many more advantages, and we're gonna opt for one of those routes. There's no company sale on the horizon. That can change, but at least for now we have no intention of selling the company. And as a general principle, regardless, even if we did have such plans, you know, we are not stupid, and the people who, and we will not select stupid people to acquire any sort of stake in the company. So what does that mean, and why am I saying this? For the simple reason is they will want happy clients, happy investors, happy long-term holders. So there's not going to be, regardless of the dynamics within the company, rapid, radical shifts which are detrimental to the client base, to the investors, to the community. This is counterproductive. This goes against the interest of Nexo, regardless of who owns it, right? Because You don't want disappointing people, you want happy customers. So the interests of these groups of people are always going to be protected. If there's going to be a change moving from a certain model to another one, it is going to be in a matter which makes the terms, if not better, because it's not always possible to make it better, then as good. We always strive for better. But, you know, that's why I'm asking you to trust us. We know what we're doing. We're not going to disappoint you. We're not going to mislead you. We have your very best interest in mind because those interests are our own. This is the fundamental way of how you build a sustainable company that is here to stay and that is worth something. If you don't cherish and appreciate your clients, your investors, your community, you cannot have a unicorn type of company, and we have a unicorn type of company. Moving on, other questions. With the increase of the token price, what has changed in terms of the buyback strategy? Can you provide more details? And also if we can expect more buybacks in the future? That's a question by Louis. I think we had one question already. Great. We love people asking a lot of questions. The buyback strategy has played a role in the price appreciation of the Nexo token, but it's not the buyback strategy that is responsible for the appreciation in its entirety. Definitely not. As you know, we committed around $12 million for the first initial phase. I think we filled up no more than 5, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And this has been a very successful strategy for 2 reasons. First of all, it shows our clear belief in the Nexo token. And this comes on top of the fact that if you check Nexo's smart contracts, I know this requires some digging, but you can do that. You can see that the team and founders tokens have not moved at all, which means that not only have we not sold our Nexo tokens because we believe it's going much, much higher, hence my saying that double digits are attainable. I am not selling my Nexo tokens, and I do have some. Not only are we holding on to them for this extended period, which now stretches over 3 years, but on top of that, as a company, we're buying back some of these tokens. And, you know, we are giving ranges on what we expect the Nexo tokens to be trading, and 43 cents up to $1.71, I believe, was the last range that we gave last week. This is where the buybacks kick in. And that's why I'm telling you, we're now with, well, I don't know, right now we're around $2. So obviously there's much more going on than the buyback strategy, but this, in connection with the fact that we ourselves are holding on, gives this credibility in the market that this is a project that is here to stay, that has very bright future, that we believe in it, and that we will constantly be evolving the Nexo token and making it even better for you guys with initiatives such as the Nexonomics, which have been incredible in my mind, and seeing the market reaction in quite a few minds as well. And yes, the buybacks is a general principle. We expect it to be a continuous endeavor. So, once this program is finished, another one will come. And its size will depend on the overall condition of Nexo. As you know, we are one of those companies who believe that a company has to be profitable. not to be living off VC money like some companies about which I have been asked before, and I found some good words to say. Wink, wink, if you catch my drift. With that little joke, we're moving on to the next question. Which countries do you hold financial licenses under? Where does your head office, where is your head office located? Is what they've meant to ask us. Right. Well, it's a tricky question in the sense that as a financial license, like we have a license which regulates us as a financial institution. So like very specifically and very narrowly, that will be Estonia. It's the license that is there, but you know, different countries call their licenses in different ways. So you know, we operate in 200 jurisdictions. We have a bunch of licenses in all sorts of places. You know, we're part of a self-regulatory organization in Switzerland, which is the way you comply with their financial watchdogs requirements on a local basis. It's somewhat different than what you have elsewhere. We have pending authorizations from the FCA in the United Kingdom, you know, payment institution license in Ireland. You know, I don't want to go down the list of any possible jurisdiction. You know, we have lending licenses in the US in a wide variety of different states. It's a very long list, and I don't want to bore you with that. Where the head office located, we were relocating into London, as some of you perhaps know, and then something which you might have seen in the news came up. It's called COVID-19, and you know, London has been hit especially hard. So you know, a large portion of the team now works remotely. It's a truly decentralized team from Bulgaria, where I am originally from. We have incredible talent on a variety of different sectors and departments within Nexo. You know, the dev team, like us having been part of the Soviet Union, mathematics and informatics has been, you know, put at the pinnacle of the educational system. All efforts were, you know, focused in that direction. So we have incredible developers, and you know, not only, but this has been like, you know, a lot of the people, the dev people, are in Bulgaria. So it's who has a head office anyway in 2021, right? Moving on. Are you open some internships opportunities in the future for crypto enthusiasts that want to help shaping the future workings of Nexo? I am absolutely sure this is an anonymous question posed to me by the Nexo PR team, and there is no one who can convince me otherwise, because they have been asking for this for some time now, and it's definitely something we're going to do, probably starting in the next quarter, because this is going to be a very, very busy one. But yes, this is definitely something that is not super effort consuming, and I think we can definitely do that. How are we doing time wise? Quarter past. All right, let's do one or two more. Do we have one or two more? How about that piggy bank next to you? We all want one. When piggy bank? Well, that's actually the first when question that I like. But kidding aside, this beautiful piggy bank has been handmade by my fiance. She wasn't my fiance back then. I only proposed because of the piggy bank, because she did such a fine job. I hope she's not watching right now, but she's too busy with the child. So this has been handmade by her. It's great. Love it. Everyone loves it. And we ought to see and figure out a way how we bring this to mass production. Not sure whether the design has been patented, but even if it did, if my fiance was smart enough to patent it, I'll get us a discount, and Nexo will not be spending enormous amounts of money. While we're on the topic, we are stocking up on merchandise, which will have various different distribution channels for you guys to have a palpable, I want to use the word totem, borrowing from Freud. Hopefully nobody will be offended by that or see any psychological connotations. As he said, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. It doesn't signify anything more. Oh, my jokes are great today. But yeah, I mean, we'll have some great designs for you guys, and we'll see about distribution, how we do that in the most efficient way. I think we can wrap it up with this very amusing answer of a serious question. I thank you all for tuning in today, for participating in the voting up and down of the questions, of posing the questions. As I said, we are doing this now on a monthly basis. It will be we're going to be mindful of the workload, because it's an entire team. It looks like a solo show, but thanks to everyone who helped organize this. For you guys who joined us, stay safe, stay healthy, stay wise, make the right decisions, obviously stick with Nexo, and I'll see you next time.